you want a professional change, or the change is forced by a layoff or a change of country or any other factor. The fact is that you have worked in the same company for a long time and you're full of doubts on how you could see yourself in another place. Now, if these doubts block you to the point that you cannot take any action, it is possible that you're having resistance to belonging to another environment and that you're still identifying yourself with your previous company. My name is Jessica Rojas. I'm a career and talent development coach, and in this channel, I'm dedicated to give you the tips to prepare yourself mentally for success and to help you design a career with meaning and purpose. Now, in this video, or in this audio if you're listening to the podcast, we are going to see what it takes to let go of the beliefs that we have regarding the company we work for and to open up for a change with better opportunities. Now, first things first, when we go to work, whether we do it physically or remotely, we create routines. Now, these routines can be physical, such as the time you wake up in the morning, walking from your home to work, greeting the team, etc. But this is not the only routines we create. We also create mental routines. So these are the thoughts that revolve around the responsibilities of the job position. They are also the worries that you could have about the team. They could also be the thoughts about the objectives that you want to achieve, or sometimes even the noise about the internal changes of the company. Now, work occupies us a lot, both physically and mentally, and also emotionally. So how many times have you not just simply finished work, but yet you're still thinking about it? Or you're still thinking about something that was pending, or about a situation that you have with a colleague, or about something that you have to deal with. Now, let me know in the comments if this sounds familiar, because I'm pretty sure it does. And if it's not the case, please let us know how you separate your work from the rest of your life, because I'm sure it will be very, very useful for the rest of people listening to this. So, when we work for a long time in the same company, and this is something that happens to every single human being, we get used to the environment and we belong mentally and emotionally to that environment. So this is really important to understand first, so that we don't judge ourselves so strongly. It is normal, okay? It happens to all of us. Our brain is a spectacular organ with enormous potential, but it's also very lazy, and it works with neurological patterns that we call neuronal patterns. So working for a long time in the same place, not only it creates these neuronal patterns, but it also anchors them so deeply that thinking differently and projecting ourselves differently is not easy, and it may not even be natural. So that's why it's important to prepare yourself mentally to take the leap so that you change the environment. So how is this mental preparation done? I'm going to give you the steps. So step number 1 is to recover your identity. You are not your company. Working in the same companies for a long time makes us behave and talk as if we were a single nucleus. It's like we talk about we say in my company, or we are whatever. So the first thing to do is to actually make that conscious effort to remind yourself that your company is not you, and it's not your partner, it's not your family. So let's stop calling it your company, and I propose you that we call it differently. Let's call it the company where you currently work. Like this, we add a component of temporality, and it will help you separate yourself from that sense of belonging. Remember that you are an integral and independent being. And yes, you have come to this company to fulfill a mission, to render a service. You have given your time, your intellect, and your energy in exchange for a salary and a life experience. But the skills and the qualities that you have put in practice are yours. You always carry them with you. They are not from the company, and they don't belong to the company. These are yours. You have them. Now, I had a client once who had worked in a company for about 40 years. And during those years, he was doing really well. He got promoted several times, and he actually managed to occupy a direction position. He actually was the one directing the company and making all the decisions, so the direction the company was going to go and the growing pace and everything of the company. He was responsible for that. So he made spectacular changes in that company. He helped them advance at an incredible speed when it comes to level of digitalization, processes, technologies, research and development. So the contribution was really, really huge and invaluable. Now, for his part, he was earning very well. He managed to make a career in a company and he had a name and a reputation in his sector. And he was really, really grateful for all the many years and all the opportunities that the company offered him, until the point where he thought or he felt that he owed everything to the company. And that's where the problem lays. One day, the structural changes come, as it happens a lot in the corporate world. So the group decided to make massive layoff, and my client was part of that. So not only he was feeling a huge frustration and indignation, but he also felt like he lost his identity and his sense of orientation. He just didn't look or feel different or anything. He didn't know how to imagine himself in another position or in another company, because he thought that he was who he was because of that company, and he forgot that it was the other way around. The company was what it was because of his contribution and his skills. So we had to work a lot on his identity to help him reappropriate his profile, his skills, his qualities, and to separate himself from the company where he was no longer working. Now, if you have a similar case, this is really the first thing to do. Remember, you are not your company. You are you. Now, step 2 is to visualize and to project yourself into what you would like to be, or who would you like to be. The second part of mentally preparing to leave your company is preparing the ground for what you would like to build. And in this step, you're really free to use your imagination to create something that is in alignment with who you are, where you can contribute in the best way with your profile and with the experience that you have accumulated in your professional life. Now, what I recommend here is that you really let your ideas flow, that you focus on your priorities and what is really the most important thing right here, right now, at this stage of your life, on the skills that you would like to use the most or that you would like to put in practice the most, and also in the environment that you would like to be part of. Now, the next thing will be to analyze the market to see what are the needs that exist out there right now, so that you see how you could position yourself better. But I will talk more about this in detail in another episode of Mental Programming to Welcome Success. So if you like this content, remember to subscribe to the YouTube channel or to the podcast if you're listening to the audio. Give it a like. We love likes. They are super useful. Plus, you have it there as a reference whenever you would like to come back to this episode. So I send you a big, big kiss, and I'll see you in the next episode.